Hey guys, welcome back to another video and welcome to my first hardware review. Today we'll be taking a look at the Logitech Extreme 3D Pro, which is very much a budget joystick, coming in at around $30 to $35 US depending on where you get it from. But this is actually a really good budget stick in my opinion, especially for those who are really on a tight budget. The 3D Pro works pretty well for the most part. It has 6 buttons on the base, in addition to the throttle axis over there on the right. The buttons themselves don't press down very far, but they do make a nice little clicking sound when you use them. Of course, the stick moves side to side, forward and backward, and it also has a twist axis for rudder action or rudder pedal simulation. The throttle is just a basic little flap or paddle type on a potentiometer, so not really much else to say there. The buttons on the base of the stick are relatively easy to reach, although I would probably want to use my other hand, my left hand, to use those buttons if I really needed them. The flight controls are relatively simple, and I really like the functionality of the buttons at the top of the stick. They're really nice and handy, and the button under my thumb especially is really good for countermeasure deployment and things like that. My biggest complaint is the throttle. Being a potentiometer throttle, it doesn't give you a lot of fine control over the engines, but that's kind of to be expected from a joystick at this price range. This is available, by the way, on my website. You can click the link on my page for it to go purchase on Amazon if you wish. And here you can see me flying the F-14A Tomcat with this stick, and just notice my control inputs here and how the aircraft responds to those inputs. The joystick is relatively sensitive and responds very well to small inputs. You can see here how I'm rolling the F-14 and not having to really put in a whole lot of input. It definitely does have a bit of resistance to it when you get to the end of travel, but otherwise it's really nice. You can see me here deploying flares. I actually just got this out and plugged it in recently, and when I took this footage I had not actually reset up any of my controls for this stick. It just automatically remembered them in DCS, which was really nice. And of course, like most products at this sort of price range, the 3D Pro is also plug and play, so that's a really nice thing. You don't have to fiddle with any software or anything like that in order to get this thing to work. You just literally plug it into a USB port on your computer, and that's all it takes to get this thing up and running. The axes typically set themselves up already in DCS, although you may have to change the throttle axis or manually add it, because that has a tendency to not always assign correctly. The trigger is relatively responsive, as are the buttons that I have bound here for the weapons on the F-14. You can see me firing sidewinders, and I actually have the top and bottom buttons on the left side of the stick bound as the weapon selector up and down buttons for the F-14, and that enables me to fairly rapidly switch between weapon types on the Tomcat. And then of course the button under my thumb is countermeasures. But you can see this turn we're going into, and I'm not having to put too much effort into actually making this turn. I Do get a little bit of resistance here, mostly from the F-14 just over alphaing the aircraft as I roll it and then pull up. So, but that's no fault of the stick. I definitely feel like I'm in really good control of the Tomcat here, and this thing, for the price, is definitely worthwhile. I hope you've enjoyed this review, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.